Test 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test. Test 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test. Good, everything is working. Now, let's see. There we go. Oh, can't really do any better, but there we go. There. Now, let me grab some keys and let's see how far we can get. Put the keys somewhere else. So let's start off, if I can find them, with the G keys, which are always fun. I should really keep an eye out that I don't accidentally put the F keys on, you know, F12, F13. The G keys are basically the macro keys of this keyboard. Here, I already accidentally grabbed a few, but I might as well grab the first few of the F keys too. New. Screen lock, pause break, all very handy keys. Those are the keys that are supposed to go somewhere here. The F keys go there. And we have some of the G keys. Let me put it to the side a bit so you can see what I'm starting off with. I'm going to start here. That are the G keys. And I have some photos on my phone, basically saying where where they're supposed to go. Because if you screw that up, then you kinda are, yeah, you're going to have some problems. G7, F, F again, G2, G6, G4, and of course you're freely able to ask how I cleaned it, or I will go into detail in a few seconds when I start putting them back together. G11. I think we have plenty for right now. Numlock. I think numlock is supposed to go here. Your other keys. Escape. We all know where that is supposed to go. First key is in. Yay! I hope everything is visible clearly. Okay, first we grab our trusty little phone. Look at things. Okay, what they go is they go from 1 and go down. 1, 2, 3. So basically how I cleared them, or how I cleaned them, was I took a bottle with some soapy water, just a big water bottle about this big, and I basically filled it first with hot water and some soap, just some normal dishwashing soap, and as you can see they come out like this. Come on, focus. Just go down a bit. Basically all the gunk is removed. They come out nice and shiny. And how you take them from the keyboard. Basically, so if you have a key stuck in there, what you do is, let me show you. I at that time only had some screwdrivers, and I found out the best thing that you can do is get one with a really flat head, or if it is possible, get a spudger that you can grab or buy for telephone repair. You have like little flat spudgers, they call them, and that is normally to remove the screen. So if you have a screen and you have to remove it or pry it open, you have spudgers that you can basically put in there and wiggle it around. And they are very cheap, and most phone fixing kits come with it. But I couldn't find my set, so ta-da! This one is a bit bigger, beefier. So what I did was in the very annoying corners, so like here, I just pried this one in there. Just do it very gently. You don't have to put in a lot of force in. If you push it down, I can show it here. Basically what you do is you push it in a tiny bit, make sure that it stays on the side. You don't want to jam it all in there, because then you push it down and then you're just applying sideward force. If you're doing that, then you will just screw up your key, and you don't want to have that happen. What you do is, if you can, push it a tiny bit over, just push it up, make sure that just has to touch a tiny bit, because it has to push it up, not sideways. And then this one is a tiny bit bigger, so you just push the key next to it down, go under it with the key, push your finger on it a tiny bit, and then you pop it up like that. And that's how easy it is. Your keys might be different if you have a next generation Logitech keyboard. They use or crosses. They don't use this method anymore. If you look at it, if I can show you, these have hooks in them. So they have like tiny hooks that push outward. And what they do, or outward, and they hook in underneath the plastic keys. So you see a tiny little bump here on the side. You see it right here. It basically hooks under it. So you really want to go like this. Sorry, the webcam is a little bit funny. You kind of want to go like this and then pop them out like that, so that the force goes onto those hooks and not like this. Because if you do it like this, it just tends to hook in there even more, and then you run the risk of snapping it off. And we never want that. If you do it well, then they are all done properly. And then it should be relatively easy to fix them all. Let's first do the first cluster. The G2, yeah. Kinda want to not do it that often, because you will end up breaking something. Because every time you open something up, you run the risk of screwing it up. So it's not something that you want to do like every year or every... there. I hope this is a little bit better. So that it was maxing out. You don't really want to do that with your mic, but yeah. Shit happens. To pop them in, you just feel around a little bit so that you don't push on the corner. And as soon as it's in there, you just tick tick, click it in there. 9, 10. The buttons here on the top, they are way more annoying to clean. So I opted out of doing it because I have experience on opening other keyboards. And let's just say if you do that with the wrong keyboard, then you will have 1,000 springs flying towards your head. And I really didn't want that happen towards this keyboard, because I really like this keyboard. It's an expensive keyboard, it works well, everything still works. I hope even after my cleaning it still works. What I did was, it happened 3 days ago. I had basically half a glass of beer, of very nice monk beer. Yeah. And my glass, I know you're not supposed to keep your drink close by, but yeah. To be fair, it happened maybe once a very long time ago. So it's not a regular occurrence for me. I'm normally not that clumsy. I was just very happy that I almost was through all my emails and I went a bit too fast. And then I screwed it up. And that's what happens when you do those kinds of things. Now, these pause break. That goes there, that is why I grabbed it. scroll lock here, num lock. Yep, that is this key here. You kind of want to work outwards, inwards, because the chances of you screwing something up when you start in the middle are a lot higher than when you start on the corners. That is why you see me start on the corners. And if I see a key that I know is supposed to go somewhere, then I will just do that first. The way that you can see the difference between the numlock number keys and the ones on the top of your keyboard, you have to be very, you have to look very well, because it also has numbers, only here they have tiny little other things, like an arrow, yeah, they're just a tiny little bit different. And I already don't really know the Alt keys and those keys, basically where they have to go. But we will find out. I'll now go for the special keys. First want all of them, because I really don't have a clue what special keys go where. If you know what I mean. Like, I actually don't know if they're just copies of themselves. Because, for instance, you have a Windows key here, you have a Windows key here, if I'm correct. A Control key here, Control key here, Alt key. Alt key. No, that is Windows. Alt next to the spacebar. I think so. Print screen, I think that is there. But I will always double check, because I really don't want to put more strain on it than I have to. I will also grab all the special large keys to start off with, just to make sure that I don't forget to put the little metal thing on. Page up, sure. F keys, sure. Number keys, numbers. Well, you can see the special keys here. They are basically weirdly sized, and they have a little metal thing on there to keep them from going tilted. F keys, more F keys. Since the F keys are kinda easy. So, also what I did, why you don't see me look around there, is that, as you can see, my desk is pretty small. So I put them all in my closet, because I had one closet space left over. Basically where you would normally put your clothing. And I didn't want to put them on straight away, because I wanted to let it air out. And yeah, I will show you what I mean. So basically there is a key here, the mute key. Annoyingly enough, my beer went over this way, so these were the ones most hit, and this was hit too. It sucks, because the only way to get these out, I think this is a whole setup itself. I'm not sure if the wheel was broken now. I really don't hope so, because I like it, I use it a lot. But this key is now a little bit stuck, as you can see. It's not that bad, because I just put some window cleaner on it and some alcohol. They're both pretty okay. Window cleaner might be a little bit aggressive. I don't know exactly what it does with electronics, but as long as there is no power on it and it can dry up properly, then you should be okay. Now I know pretty well where these keys go. This one goes here. This one goes down here. If I'm correct, I will double check. Well, not for the spacebar, but for the rest of the keys. Let's see how we put the spacebar on. Okay, so how you do it is you see two clamps here. There is a little hook, like a tiny little hook here and here. The rest you don't really have to look at. There is a, well, the button here. That is what you press. Still a tiny bit fatty, but yeah. So you just hook them behind there, as you can see. They're hooked under it. I'm not sure if you're supposed to hook it like that or like this. Yes, now I know. We almost made a mistake. I know because if you look at the key, this side is flat. This side is not. If you put that up, then you have a really weird keyboard, because then you have a dimple here. So I think what is supposed to happen is it's supposed to go on like this. Because most of the keys that are at the bottom, as you can see, no, you can't see. As you can see here, this side is relatively flat. Like the flat side goes up and the curved side goes down. So, same way, only you guys can see it a little bit worse. Anything that it hooks behind? Not really. It just goes on there like this. Then you tilt it up. And make sure that it goes in there. It works. Now, let's do the same with that one. Basically, I kept it out on a blanket for a few days, or not a few days, for like one day. Basically because there can be a little bit of residual water in here. What I did is I took a hair dryer and then I just blow it, or blow on it. Put them in a pretty big thing, like a box, so that they don't fly out, because that is the worst thing that can happen. Yeah, shows on the keyboard. On the keyboard, as you can see, little discoloration, so you can use that as a guide a little bit. Make sure it goes on there. Yep, that's the only key that looks like that. So okay, I have a whole bunch of crap here. Let's first do the easy ones. I know that this is supposed to go there. This wasn't, for instance. This is a 4. As you can see, it has an arrow on it. Normally the arrow keys go here. So I think this one will have to go here and not here. Not here on the top row. But I will make sure by checking my thing. Again, here, this is what I mean. We have the same button twice. Alt or Alt and Alt. But if we put them on top of each other, they are different. One slopes down, this one slopes down like this, and this one slopes down like that. Now I have a pretty good idea what side they're supposed to go on. Yep. This button is the one on this side. On this side. The ones that I really don't know are the Windows keys. This is one Windows key. And where's the other one? Here's the other one. Are they identical? I think they are. Yep. As you can see, they are literally identical. Not that it will change the button. Like I can literally put anything on here. I can put an Alt on here and it will still be the Windows button, but now, let's have a look. The Windows button goes here. Stupidly enough, I don't know what that button is used for. So yeah, what I did to clean it was I first had some antibiotic spray, like stuff that you can clean medical supplies with, and basically I sprayed it down because it would foam, and I left that in there. Or first I vacuum cleaned it so that all the particles were out of it. Then I sprayed it down with that stuff, and that took up all of the fatty stuff and all those things. That worked pretty well actually, and only it didn't help so much with all the dust particles from cleaning. So what I used was some of those pads, those fluffy pads that girls use to remove makeup, and Q-tips, a whole bunch of them. These are the cheap ones. I also used some more expensive ones, like with a little pointy end and with a flat end. And that worked pretty well to get in between this. Like the best thing was just taking one of those pads, put it on top of the screwdriver, jam it into the corners, and then go through it. That is basically the only way, because the Q-tips they would run out too fast. Like, you had to change it too fast. That was kinda annoying me. It was better, I should have used the products more, but print screen. There. Now, with the Alt, we're pretty lucky, because they are not the same. If you look at it, we have one Alt GR and one Alt. I know that the Alt GR is supposed to go on this side, right here. That leaves this Alt to be right here. My shift is kinda screwed up. Move it over. These things. I wish that I had a international keyboard. This is an international keyboard, but the stupid thing is it's the European international keyboard, and I freaking hate it. The first time that I got it, I asked if I could change it, and they sent me the same freaking keyboard again, because they didn't get what I meant. Well, they did get it, but here, I will show you if I can find the key. Tab goes right here. But that's not the tab. God. So don't do what I just did. Every time you do this, if you can see it, breaks it a tiny bit. Really don't like doing that. If you break it, it's... well, it is a pretty big deal actually, but it's not that big of a deal. Because it will still work properly. It's just not really that nice. Like, your key will still work. The only difference is that it can pop out like the next generation. Because the next generation are just hold on there with friction. They're basically little crosses and you just put it on there like Legos. And the annoying thing is, it could be that if you take your keyboard for a LAN party or stuff like that, that the keys basically fall off and then you're at a LAN party with some keys missing. And as long as it's not the keys that you really need, then you should be okay, but it's just not nice to have keys fall off. And I already put in all the G keys, so the ones on this side, the hotkeys, so I won't be screwing that up like, oh shit, wasn't this supposed to be an F? Yeah, because it's weirdly enough not the first time that I took apart a keyboard. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Here. Okay, let me just try and do it out of memory, and I'm not gonna push them in. Page up, page down. I'm gonna check out in a few seconds. There. 0 is supposed to go there. Plus, I think here. Just all over the place. But let me just finish this. We have to shift from there. one of those keys anywhere else? Nope, not that I know of. So it's supposed to go there. It's just a little bit weird feeling, because the caps lock is a tiny bit proud and the shift is a tiny bit lower. F4. Let's see if I had it right. Nope, I had it right the first time, but I screwed it up the second time. Page up is supposed to go, sorry, here. And to be fair, or not to be fair, just to give you a heads up warning, I should have probably done that at the start. Don't watch this video to see where your keys are supposed to go, because like I said, my keyboard is an international keyboard. That means that it's QWERTY, so QWERTY, QWERTY, and that means that this keyboard is European International. The only difference is if you check out the American version of an international keyboard, this is supposed to be a big shift. And it freaking sucks that it's a small shift, because I never use this button. This is a slash and a right bracket. And it's just so annoying, like I said before. Because I really don't like it. Because, okay, my pinky always goes on there, but I don't use that button, so it would have been nicer if I couldn't just smash it. Because when you're gaming, then the shift you use to run or to do that kind of stuff, and that is just not really that practical. And also, if anyone here in chat can tell me, what is this button? Hold it steady. It's a button that is supposed to go here. I'll apply it here. It's like a calculator with a mouse point on it, or like a menu with a mouse point on it. It's kinda weird. Like, I've never used it, but found the home key. Like, all the special keys are the easiest to apply. Found another F key. F7. That is one of the up keys. F1. I think I found the key that is supposed to go next to the shift. Found an arrow key. Arrow keys are always fun since you have 4 arrows. And, well, we will figure out what arrow is supposed to go where. Since I don't really know if it's the same key 4 times. Pardon. I think the rest is numbers and letters. Oh, another arrow key. There we go. Took the model. Some of the number keys too, the ones that I think go on this one. already have some of them. Let's have a look. F7, F1, then we're done with all the F keys, which is a great feeling. Just look how pretty it is. It's like it came out of the box. Okay. We have some arrow keys, and they are not identical. Those keys. Okay. First I'm gonna guess. I think the straight edge is supposed to go towards the other keys. It would be weird if it would be different. Meaning that we should have one with relatively steep slopes on 3 sides. Which we don't. Meaning I have to look at the picture. Fun part is, the picture that I took is kinda screwed up. As you can see. And no, this is not the camera doing it. This was me taking a picture with a flash and it blurring out everything. So as far as I can see, and this is annoying. Could have just all the keys pointing up. I can make a macro for that. Nope, you're only allowed to jump, 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 jump. But yeah, then I will screw up my keys. I think what is going on is if they're supposed to be like all the other keys, then I guess they're supposed to be like this. Since all the flat parts on all the keys go up. Is there any key, but literally any key that has it differently? No, that's actually yep, I just figured out that all the keys, no matter what direction they're supposed to go in, they have one flat edge. So they have 2 curved edges, or 3 curved edges towards you, to the left and to the right. But the up part always is flat, no matter which key you grab. Shift, it's flat. You don't really see it here, but this one, for instance, that's the plus. It goes like this. You could think that it would go like this, but if you can see, I'll try to show you. You can see one side is flat, the other side is a little bit curved, the same as the curves on the side. So just put the flat part up and then you should be okay. So knowing that, I'm just gonna put them in here. This has the flat edge going up. This one has flat going up. Down. Going up. That side. Going up. Of course, you've never ever looked at your keys like this before, so everything is crooked. For instance, this key with this key, I'm like, are they okay? Feels well. Did I follow my rule? Yep. Yeah, I think so. Well, time will tell. Time won't really tell, since it doesn't matter at all if we screw it up. The only thing that it will matter is that it will feel weird. No deleting. There won't be any deleting. Now, enter key. Let's move it this way a bit. It's supposed to go down here. Enter has lettering, so that shouldn't be too big of a deal. Again, make sure that those little metal wires are popped in there. And there we go. Let's do the plus. Since we now have the direction, I'm gonna follow my own rule of flat side goes up. Pop in the sides. Don't know if you can see it. Just slide it in there, it's not hard, it doesn't retain it. And it works. Now, we have a big pointy key. What would that be from? I think I know. Might that be the delete button or the backspace button? I think so. Let's put that on there. It's starting to come together. 0 key. That is the last key that we have the hooks on. You can clean them up a little bit, but that is one thing. How you pop these out is very carefully. You really want to, like for instance the keyboard, I had to break my own rule because I just wanted to put force on that button and not push it from here, because if you push it from here then the whole keyboard flexes up and it might be that you're starting to pull on the metal tabs and stuff like that. You kinda really don't want to do that. So what I did was I put a screwdriver basically underneath. I made sure that everything was empty. And I put the screwdriver in a way that I was just applying force to the middle pin here. So also from both sides. A little bit from up there, and yeah. It was kinda hard, but not impossible. You can also just leave it on. I recommend not doing it, because all the junk that you clean up and you go past here probably will go under it. And also my spacebar was the dirtiest by far of everything. Again, make sure that you put it in correctly. There we go. And now the numbers. If you took a photo of your buttons, then you know that your numbers are a tiny bit different from the notepad or from your numlock. Basically, the ones up here, they have images. They have star, brackets, or no, not your brackets go here, and have moony kind of things. Yeah, that button. I guess you know what I mean. The star, the add, the arrow up, the dollar sign, pound, add, exclamation point, and percent. Basically, those all go up here. The ones here, they have more things like page up, page down, arrows, delete, I think, on one. Oh no, end, as far as I can see. For instance, 7 here, that's another home button. The one goes right here. 4. Already one row complete. Those shouldn't be that hard to basically get done. And as soon as you have done these, then you know for sure that all the numbers that you have left, that you don't screw that up. So let's see if I can find some more. Really recommend you keeping them separate, because it's all too easy to just grab from the wrong pile. And at least now you're double checking, so you're checking once in a different pile, and that is okay. If you don't know what you're doing, then what you can do is basically lay it out on the table if you have enough space. I don't have enough space, but I do know what buttons go where, so that's not that big of a deal. Found the delete button. Just in case this video totally sucks, then I can always delete it. Comma and another delete. Found both of my delete buttons. The star, or when you use numpad, then the star will basically be times. So 10 times 10 times 10, 100? Yeah, I think so. Feel free to tell to me if I suck at math. I don't do it correctly, but as far as I can see, one we already used. Those are most of the buttons. Let's see how far we get. Number 8. Deletion with the dot. Number 6 goes there. I know them out of my head. It's just I don't trust myself, basically. Another field complete. Number 2 going down. Yep, totally dry. That is basically yesterday in the evening. I had them pretty dry, but again, another button. The star button just has one star. You don't really see how it's supposed to go or where. Well, you see where it's supposed to go, but you don't know what orientation. Just keep the flat part going up. Now, what do we need? We need a minus, a slash, and a 5. 5 with nothing on it. I think is this one. Oh, it has a tiny little mark on it. But I just need to make sure. Yes. Okay, what I mean, I think this was made by blind people, or not made by blind people, because then, but for blind people. Basically, if you use the numpad to find your orientation when you're blind, they put a tiny little marker, as you can see here on the bottom. That is so that you can feel your way around the keyboard. This, however, is the marker, what I said earlier. Also the number 5. Only difference is this is for the top row. And it has more markings on it, so the percent, and this one also has the euro logo on it. 5 is on the board, so this one I feel okay to leave here for now, just in case I don't do that when you haven't put them in yet, because that would suck if you have to take stuff out again. We have all the numbers done here, so I'm now grabbing the numbers for the top row. Everything that has a number goes into my hand. I'm kinda dyslexic, not that that really matters with letters, but trust myself even less with them. Nope, nope, nope. 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 I will also grab the special buttons now, because that will be our next stop. But the special buttons are gonna be a kick in the teeth. They will be so annoying. Special buttons are special and annoying. Tell me that's an I. Those things, I really don't get how people see the difference between a 1, an I, or an O and a 0. I hate that. Especially when you have things like passwords or serial codes that you have to fill in. It's like, fill this crap in. And then they have 0, O, capital O, 1 I, and then you're like, which one is it? I do not understand. And that just sucks. Okay, these are the numbers, these are the special logos. Just put them to the side for now. Scoot over the keyboard. Here we go, here we have the numbers. Less and less things that we can do wrong. That is just great. I really don't want to screw it up. First one is that other special logo. Do I want to find it? No, I will first do these things. Number 2. And since we already did the number pad, we don't really have to worry about those things anymore. The only thing that we have to worry about is the orientation. So again, just like I said with the 0 and the 1, and the 0 or the 1 and the I, the 0 and the, like I use software that basically makes passwords for me. And just as a little tip, I do not use I1, like I capital or small. I know it makes the password less powerful, but if you have to fill it in, it's so much better. And I'm okay with telling you this because I know it's not smart to tell any password practices, but I mostly use 12 plus passwords that are totally randomized. Good luck figuring that out. I have friends that are basically professionals in that, and those kinds of passwords are so hard to crack that you're basically with a 16 plus password that is totally randomized. Okay, I haven't calculated it in without the 1 and the I and the O and the 0, but basically that is already calculating till the depth of the universe and far beyond that. So you really don't have to worry about those kinds of things. When it comes to brute forcing, it's easier if they just crack your other password list or other crap. But even then, double authentication will fix that. Now, please tell me that I didn't screw up with the 9. Yes. I was thinking which one goes where. 6, 9, and 0, which is supposed to go the other way around, because I figured out the trick with the other thing. Now, the special buttons. Let me just line them up here, so that we can figure them out. Actually, I can line them up with the flat edge upwards, so I know exactly what kind of button it is. Which makes it, again, a lot easier. I think that one is supposed to go up there. Not sure though. Like, I haven't thought about the minus button. Like, the minus looks so much like the E. Luckily with the flat edge trick can figure that out. So now they're in the correct orientation, so let's figure out where what goes. First off, this one I recognize. That is the one that is supposed to go here. Before I do that, is there anywhere else that has the same key? No, it doesn't. For the numpad, let's do that one too. We have the numlock, we have the sideways thing, and on the keyboard it's this one. Like, this one is supposed to go here, because it has a question mark and a slash on it. The one up there only has a slash, and it's the slash going the, I think this is called a backward slash or forward. I don't know. We have a minus. How does the minus look on the other side? The minus looks very different. That is the minus on the notepad. That is the notepad completed. Starting to get closer. Yay! plus equal sign. There's just one button of that, so that is not that hard. Now, the minus on your normal keyboard, the one that is supposed to go there. It has the minus and the stripe under it. Let me double check if I'm not just talking out of my neck. Yep. Don't know if that is a English catchphrase. In Dutch it's a saying. If you basically spout bullshit, then you're talking out of your neck. Like, yeah. Now, this is the slash. That way. The brackets. Brackets would have been very annoying, I think, although they have differences, they're not identical. Since if you turn them around, then the wrong thing is up. If that makes sense. They go together. And now my images are kinda not clear. So I'm gonna do the bottom ones first. Arrow dot goes here. Arrow comma goes there. Now the stripe. I have no idea where this one goes. I think it's an eye, but I don't trust it. Houston, we have a problem. We have two identical buttons, which is a problem. They're really identical? Yes, they're really identical. Okay, in that case, that one is supposed to go here. That is that stupid button that I never use. Especially not on this side. I would much rather have one of the big shifts here. This is nice, I guess, because this one feels a little bit softer to press. This one is a little bit more tactical feeling. But still, I would much rather have a big one there. That one, and then that one here. Are there any other buttons? Nope. This is the last one. There we go. I think we have all the special buttons now. Yes. It's looking definitely very nice compared to how it was looking. It was kinda dusty, crappy. Now, since we already have all the special characters on there, the rest of the buttons are letters. I can't be screwed over by zeros or things like that. Let's just put all the letters again with the flat part going up. It is actually a really good trick that I found that literally no one online said. That the key buttons have a flat top and they always point up. And as long as you know that, then you can't screw it up with putting the button upside down, for instance. Like an I would be just as good up or flipped as not flipped. I'm actually not sure if you guys are reading the buttons correctly, since I flipped the screen because my camera is up here, so in front of me, so because I also have to do everything in mirror image. So I mirrored the camera so that you guys see what I see. So don't be alarmed if you don't understand what it says. That is because it's mirror flipped. So basically what I did to empty the keyboard and remove all the keys from it, I started off with all the small keys, or in my case, because I really don't use the Windows buttons, I just tried on the Windows button. This was the first one to try and get off, pry off. This one was the second. And then I was like, it's not that hard to get them off. If you apply the right force, the first few times you will try to apply just force like this with 2 screwdrivers, and your keys will fly like half a meter through the air. Just a heads up. You might want to wear some goggles or something. But as soon as you get the trick, then you can just basically put one in, put your finger on it, the other one there, pop it out. Some of them you will still not have the grip, but as long as you put your finger on it gently, then you should be able to make it not fly. Let's start off with the QWERTY. Q, W, E. Okay, I was wrong. QWERTY. E, yeah. And I know that this is an S, this is an A, and this is a D, I think. Not because I'm looking now, and yes, that's correct. Why do I know that? Because that is the buttons that I blindly press. Ow, that hurt. C, X, Y, C. V. I know I'm all over the place. Then I don't see my buttons that well anymore. I think it's a B. I'm pretty sure the B goes there, but not gonna risk it. Why would I risk it if I can just get the button in the way of elimination? As far as I know, QWERTY is, I'm not that sure. F, again, that is one of the buttons to center your fingers. Know where it is if you're blind or you can't see that well. tiny little bump on it that you can feel for. And I'm pretty sure it goes there, because that is the button that you always press. R, the same. R, reload. Some of them go in pretty easily. You really have to line them up. You can't just push them in like sideways and then like that. You have to jiggle them around a bit, make sure that they're on there, and then kind of force them down. There isn't really anything that I know that you will harm if you push down too hard, as long as you don't push down like a crazy idiot. Like if it's definitely in incorrectly, like if it's in like this. Let me see. Yeah, if it's sideways, so if you are trying to push it in while it's like this, then I guess what could happen is that you're basically pushing the pins and breaking them, because they have little tabs. You can see them. Basically the tabs, if you were to be on one of the hills or one of the corners, then you could theoretically push them in with the corner. But you really have to screw up if you do that. T-Y. Not to U yet. T. Those are the buttons that I don't use that often. T, Y, U. This one is still a bit fatty, weirdly enough. I really thoroughly cleaned them. I could have done it more properly, like go over it one by one. Basically what I did was, well, I told you already, grabbed the bottle, chucked all of them in there, added some normal dish soap and pretty hot water. And pretty hot water. And then just shaked it like it was a cocktail. Kept shaking it, shake it like this, shake it like this. If you just fill it up mostly with water, and then the water will damp it, so you can't really go that hard. Don't have it all the way empty, because then you might smash some things around. But you can be pretty forceful. Kinda like a washing machine. And of course, while I was doing that, I was singing working at the car wash. That also helps cleaning, so the louder that you sing that song, the better they get cleaned. So definitely do that. Like if you can shout it, that's even the best. Definitely do that. And your neighbors will also know that you're cleaning your keyboard. G. And we're almost at the end of the stream. Maybe I will stream a bit more later in the evening. After this, I'll plug it in, of course, to show you guys that it still works. Okay. And if it doesn't, then I can always not upload. Nah, then I would definitely upload it, because it's kinda being pretty long-winded. Just me screwing around with my keyboard. I do have to say, not kidding or anything, really makes it look like it's new. Like especially in between the keys. It's very hard to clean. I already dusted it out because I tried to get most of the beer out, so my keyboard was pretty clean. But yeah, when I mean dust under it, it still had a crap ton of dust on the side corners, but oh, it feels so good. It feels as if it's basically new. Yes, I still have some parts of crap on there. Compared to how it was looking, it's basically new. I can show you a different keyboard that I just grabbed, just to make sure that I have something to type on. This stuff in between the keys. It's very hard to clean in between them. Clean, not clean, clean, not clean, clean, not clean. This button still is a little bit stuck. I hate it. I actually don't know if it's dried out, but we're gonna see. Maybe it's gonna be a spark show. Now, let's have a look. What is gonna happen? It's not gonna light up because it doesn't have the power thing in there. Actually, do I have the power cable right here? Yes, I do. Meaning, we will make it light up. Logitech logo lights up. The keys light up, I think. Well, the volume at least still works. Volume button. Let's see if the mute works. Yep. Mutes it, unmutes it, mutes it, unmutes it. Let's have a look if the keys work. Good old notepad. Let me reposition it. Browser. Let's have a look if it works. Show you guys that it also works. Capture application. No. No, not video capture device. Stupid program. No, not you. Sorry, I haven't worked with OBS for quite some time because I've been Windows capture. Notepad. There we go. Now let's have a look if they all work. Button 1 works. Works, works, works. The shift. Everything works. They all work perfectly. Tab. If we look at the light. Tab light lights up. Notepad light lights up. I think, which was the other one? Scroll lock also lights up. I think if I put it right here, it might even show you the mute works. Not sure though. Okay. The other buttons, caps lock, also works. For the people that don't like it, I will just turn it off right away. Enter button works, backspace works. Everything works. Yeah. Spacebar works. Alt works. I can't really use Alt Top, but well, Windows buttons work, but not with this application. Alt Tab works. Notepad again. Now let's go to the numbers. Oh no, the numbers don't work. Well, that is because numblock is not on. So let's have a look. Weirdly enough, the delete button, it works because the dots are going, but I'm not sure what button that is. This button I also don't know. Doesn't do anything right now. I will look it up after the stream. Yep. Plus, minus, star, slash, numlock works, dot works, zeros work. Everything works. Only things that I still can test is these buttons. Pause, break. Most applications don't really use them. Windows uses them sometimes. They're handy when you're in the BIOS. At the moment I don't really have the Logitech application. I have it installed, but I kicked it out of my startup commands, so that's why you see the logo. On and off button works. Well, these buttons don't work, but that is because of Logitech. Oh, that is why. Yep. The Windows buttons also work. This one is to open the right click button basically. So you can do a right click. You guys don't see it, but yeah. And this button also gives you a right click. The Windows button wasn't working because basically if you go to the top here of the keyboard, you have a gaming mode button. Now it's on, doesn't work, off, does work. That is so that you don't accidentally hit the Windows logo. Some people have a weird, yeah, so that's why. Okay, there we go. That is how you put a keyboard together, and also how you clean it. I will add some images, maybe, of the process that I took it apart. I didn't record that, so sorry everyone. But yeah, everything works, and have a nice evening. Maybe see you later. Have fun. Laters.